Hello folks, just joining us. Sorry for the delay there. Had some technical difficulties, so got back started a brand new broadcast. Once we got everything up online, Trojans up 2-1. Ben Grace with a goal. Not sure if that came through on the feed or not, but Ben Grace recently with a goal. Burkhart now out of the box. And now Nichols is charging forward through center ice. He's got a head of steam. He brings it out to the corner. Looks to try to center or do something. Still met with some resistance in the corner. Over to Peter Koski. Gets that up to Archer. Archer's going to look. He's going to fire a shot. That's loose in front. Stick aside. Peter Koski tips it back in front. Grace tried to get there. Grace tried to get one in front now, too. That got sticked aside. Now trying to clear is Columbus. And they do. Nichols reaching out. Just couldn't quite get there off the heel of his stick. Now Grace is going to get that back to Nichols. He's going to flip that back up to Grace. Columbus is going to collect, try cross-ice pass. And then fire that into the zone. That's going to be an icing. So Trojans with a power play for the next 24 seconds. Cooper, Grace, George Homewood out there with Fort and Nichols on defense. We're going to have a true center ice face-off here. Cooper takes face-off, puck is dropped. Homewood comes out of the fray with it. Looking to try to get a shot off. That got a stick on it. Bounce off the boards. Right back there was Grace. Grace now behind the net. Tried to center it in front of Homewood. Oh, centered it. Went off the skate of Grace. Finds Cooper in the middle. Cooper fires a shot. Oh, that went off the skate of a Columbus player. Now Grace collects again. Grace going to take a shot. That's loose in front. Homewood tries to knock one in. Cooper comes to knock one in. It's still loose. Grace is there. Homewood's there. They're fighting over the puck and still bouncing around. And finally cleared, and that's going to go the length of the ice and be an icing. A lot of good action there. By the Trojans. And we'll get a quick line change in. Burkhart out now to take the face up for the Trojans with Schwab and Chase. Puck is dropped. Burkhart ties it up, gives it back to Schwab. Oh, tried to get a shot, but that was just poked away. Now collected by Sloan. Tried to fling one in deep, but that was stopped. And Burkhart almost got the pick off there. Then knocked in front. Burkhart's going to take this in. Tried to backhand center one, but no one was there following the puck. But now Schwab's got it. Schwab now is going to take a shot. Fire one. Oh, bounced wide. Burkhart now going to the corner to battle for it. And that still kept in. Schwab tried to lift one and hit a player. And now Columbus clears, taking it through the neutral zone. A couple Trojans back. Shot fired. Biggs was ready. Sliding over. Didn't need to make a save. And then chipped back up. And Biggs on the ready caught that. Now George Homewood to take the face off. He'll have Archer and Peter Koski out there with him. Face off goes back. Seagarden's got on the defensive end, tried a cross-ice pass. That was intercepted. Now loose in front. And a score by Columbus. Gonna tie this game up. Under 7 minutes left here in the second. 2-2. Homewood takes this himself. Gets tripped up, fires one in as he's falling to his knees. That hits a Columbus player, goes back. Peter Koski on the forecheck. Gets wrapped around the corner of the boards. Kept in by Archer. Archer's going to look to fire a shot. He gets one, hits the skate, comes out loose in front. Archer's going to try to circle. Try to get that back to Eddie Homewood, but just went too far. Eddie Homewood gets that cross ice to Webb Sloan. Flips that up. Touching the neutral zone and back. Crossing. Nice play there by Archer to intercept that pass. Now Peter Koski has it. He breaks towards the middle. He flips it back down into the corner. Racing down there is George Homewood. Puck in the corner. Nice job there by Eddie Homewood on the pinch. Gets it to Ryland. Ryland gets it up to George Homewood. Throws it up. And then Peter Koski throws it back at the goal as that shot was blocked. Now collected by Columbus as they move forward through the neutral zone. Look to break. George Homewood trying to knock him off the puck there. Goes back to his brother Eddie. Columbus gathers behind the net. Cross ice pass. Doesn't get through. Now flipping it up is Webb Sloan, and he's racing for it. But that's going to be an icing. Oh. Oh no. And Sloan hit the boards hard. Sloan is up. He's skating. No penalty call. Does that look like a trip? So Cooper, Beach, and Grace will be out there. It's like Fort and Nichols out there on defense. Puck is dropped. Columbus gets it back to the D, goes cross ice, fires a slap shot. That goes wide. It's tipped in front by many people. Now collected by Nichols. Nichols is going to try to skate around a few folks, bang that up the boards. Gets in the skates of Grace, gets knocked out of the zone, and now Nichols collects again. Now he's going to pass over in the slot to Beach. Beach fired a shot, but that hit a player, and then Cooper tried to tuck that forward too. That comes out to center. Sending that down into the zone is Columbus. Mason Cooper has it now. Cross ice pass in front of the net to Nichols. Now it's collected by Cooper. Cooper's going to knock that to the corner, try to regain some control. Or that was Fort, rather. Sorry. Now Nichols edging the player out along the boards. He gets the puck. He's going to push forward with it now. He's got some room. He's going to skate. He's going to fire a shot. That goes off the goalie. Then Columbus gets it, but Grace is back there now. Now Columbus collects again. Tries to go cross ice to break out. One blue jersey versus three white jerseys. And that's sticked aside by Mason Cooper, who collects that. And now he's going to charge forward. Dangle through a couple players. Gets that over to Grace. Grace now gets a little shove. And then it's collected by Mason Beach. And now Beach is going to try to turn the corner. He gets sticked aside. Gets back up. Good hustle by Beach. Grace now trying to close the gap on the player skating in. Shot. Too far in front of the goal. Nobody there. Chipped out of the zone. Columbus forced to reset. We're closing under 3 minutes here and a tie game left in the second. And a shot from the face-off dot. Finn Biggs with the glove save. Square here with just under, or just over rather, 3 minutes left here in the second. Findlay with a lot of good chances, just not able to capitalize yet. Net shot from the point bounces around. Biggs had the save and then cleared out by Eddie Homewood. Eddie gets dropped, no call there. Cooper tried to skate around somebody, lost puck, but then regains it, takes it behind the net. Fires it off the boards to Grace. Grace chips it forward out of the zone and is in pursuit on the forecheck. But Columbus able to cross ice pass that and go in, and we might have an offsides here. Looks like we do. Now Burkhardt now takes face off for the Trojans with Schwab and Chafe out there. Sloan back out, good to see that, with Teagarden. Burkhardt gets that back to Teagarden. Or gets that to Schwab, actually, and now Burkhardt comes out of it through the middle. He's carrying the puck in the zone. Brings it back, stick lift. And then Schwab with the stick lift, and they're going to call a hook on that, it looks like. So face-off, Burkhardt gets that back to his defense. Wraps it around the boards. Chafe out there with them now. Chips that out. Burkhardt and Chafe out there with Sloan and Teagarden. Nice job there by Teagarden. He's going to try to chip that out of the zone, but Columbus is able to keep it in. Sent back towards the net, but behind it. Sloan tried to make a play, got turned around. Burkhardt's got it. He flips it up, tried to get it to Chafe, but it exits the zone, so forces Columbus to reset. So Columbus backhand pass now enters the zone. Shot. Biggs on the save. So we got some fresh legs out there for the Trojans. Try to kill off the rest of this penalty. As George Homewood comes out with Rylan Peterkowski. Fort and Nichols back on defense. Puck is dropped. George Homewood with it. Fires it off the wall. Hits the skate and bounces out of the zone. Rylan Peterkowski on his horse trying to get back there on the forecheck. And then dumping it deep into the zone is Columbus. Tried to create a little dipsy-doodle move around Fort. He wasn't having it, so now Peterkowski has it. He's going to center one out to George Homewood. He's going to take that out of the zone. He gets tripped up. No call. And then Nichols has it now. He's going to, try to fire one, hit the leg of a player, but he's able to recollect. Then that comes out back to Rylan Peterkowski. Peterkowski fires a shot. Ooh, just swept aside by the pad save, but puck leaves the zone. Trojans at full strength now. George Homewood's got it. He's trying to get through a couple players. Got sticked aside. Puck's still loose down there by the net. Columbus looking to get it out of the zone. Tipped aside by Archer. Archer now gets it over to George Homewood. Homewood now gets it back to Archer. Tried a cross-ice pass, but that got tipped out. He tried to hit Nichols cross-ice, but Columbus player was there. But then Fort collects. He's going to play that up over to Mason Cooper, who's going to enter the zone. He's going to cycle, turn, spin, fire one. Gloved by Columbus goaltender. And that's going to be the end of the period. All square here at 2-2 as we go into the second intermission. And everybody out of the box now. So teams will talk about it, switch sides, and join us for an exciting third period, all square after 2. All right, welcome back here to the start of the third. Mason Cooper out there with Mason Beach and Ben Grace. Henry Fort, Ricky Nichols back on defense. Finn Biggs in net. Puck is dropped. Gets back to Nichols. Nichols will circle, and then fire that puck down into the neutral zone. Beach on the forecheck. That hits Mason Cooper's glove, and now Ben Grace collects it. Gets poked away, but he stays with it. He's still got it. Trying to make something happen behind the net. Still has it behind the net. And then trying to jam that into the goal was Mason Beach, but goaltender had his stick there. Fort's there now with the puck. He's going to center this. Chipped ahead by Mason Beach. Collected by Columbus. Columbus is now going to center one. Picked off by Fort through the middle of the ice. Fort knocks it back into the offensive zone and then sent back out, but Nichols is there. Head of the blue line. Tried to get around a player, but nothing doing there. Looking for a centering pass is Columbus, but Cooper and Nichols made their way back, and now we get it up to Mason Beach, and now Mason Beach is starting to push through the middle of the zone, trying to get one through, but back checking, and we're probably going to have an offsides, I think. No, we're going to have a penalty for a hook, as we got a player for Columbus going to the box. Okay. Glad the whistles work both ways here. At least on that one. So we're going to see George Homewood out here take the face off with Ryland Peterkowski, River Archer, Sloan, and Teagarden back on defense. As they start on the power play. Trying to chip that out was Columbus. Hopped over Teagarden's stick, so they do have it. Finn Biggs comes out to play it, gets it to Webb Sloan. Webb Sloan now is going to try to split a couple players, but puck gets poked away from him. Knocked back to the corner, so Teagarden's going to collect now. Teagarden now going to get that back up to Peter Koski. He's going to look center ice for Homewood. Homewood now charging. Gets that over to Archer. Archer tried to fire a shot. Stick in the way. Block that. Homewood's got it now. He's going to send that up the boards, but nobody on the back end there to stop that, so Sloan's going to come back to collect. And he finds Homewood racing through the middle. Homewood's going to fire a shot. And gloved by the goaltender for Columbus. So, 35 seconds left in the power play opportunity for the Trojans. Columbus trying to bring this puck up the length of the ice now. Man down. Looking for a shot. Almost rolls off the stick. Teagarden there on the pursuit. Good job killing clock there by Columbus, but get that over. Shot over the goaltender Biggs. And penalty expired now to Columbus. Sloan picks up the puck behind the net. Clock on the screen isn't working for those viewing at home. Not a great tech day. Apologies for that. So we're just over 10 minutes left here in the third. As Columbus wraps it around the net, but held in by Burkhardt, comes off the bench, tries to chip that down in there. And then knocked out of the zone, and then Schaaf has it. Now Schaaf gets it down into the zone. And Archer was trying to battle down there for it. And now Burkhardt was as well. He gets tripped up. Homewood trying to keep it in. Eddie Homewood battling along the boards now. That puck comes out to Archer now. Archer trying to dangle one through to get a shot, but just got poked away. This goes back. Burkhardt's going to collect it. Burkhardt's going to fire it up the boards, trying to hit Schwab coming off the bench, but intercepted by Columbus. Now Eddie Homewood there, but nice play by Eddie Homewood. Schaaf with it. Burkhardt lifts a stick. That goes to Biggs. Biggs will cover. So we're just over 9 minutes here. And we'll get an offensive zone line change. So Mason Cooper will come out with Ben Grace and Mason Beach. Fort and Nichols back on defense still. 9:18 left. Gets that back to Henry Fort. Fort's going to bounce out towards the Beach. Beach tried to play that, but just bounced over his stick. Nichols has it now. Nichols is going to turn. Nice job by Nichols there. He's going to find a little space. He's going to go forward with it. He's going to keep going through center ice. Now he's going to work to the left side. Hits the brakes, spins a little bit, and then cycles back down, trying to make guys miss. As he just gets held along the boards, no call for interference there. That gets sent out. Now it's a 2-on-0 after the no interference call, and they score. Now puck is dropped, and we've got a penalty on Columbus. As Cooper gets dropped. So we'll have a high stick on a Columbus player. Didn't catch the number, so we're just going to put one in there on the screen. They're getting lines sorted out here. Now puck is dropped. Nice job there by Fort to get back. Gets that up to George Homewood. Homewood now, go to the outside, fires a shot, and he scores! For the goal to tie this thing back up. That gets rid of the penalty, so it's power play goal by the Trojans. Tie this up with 8:05 left here in the third. Now Mason Cooper with the face-off. Oh, that went back to Teagarden, but tipped off of him, but Biggs on the ready for the save. Now another face-off here. Mason Cooper took that one. Columbus collects. High bouncing puck. Tried to chip that in with Columbus on the bounce. Columbus has it now. Tried to sneak one in. Teagarden was there. Poked that away back into the corner. Now Teagarden still battling for it. Gets sent out front. Past the defense of Columbus. They're forced to reset back in their own zone. That pass hits a skate, but still collected by Columbus. Nice stick work there by the Trojans to get back. Banging that along the boards. Mason Cooper's going to get this, and he's going to now charge along the boards. He's going to push that forward, try to outskate a player. He does. He fires a shot, and that's a save by the Columbus goaltender on that shot. Now, George Homewood to take the face-off for the Trojans. Tried to get that over to Peter Koski, who's going to battle for it in the corner.
Findlay goal scored by number 11, George Homewood. Time of the goal, 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
Homewood tripped up as him and Peter Koski are still battling for it along the boards. Archer back there observing. Homewood comes out with it. Homewood, tried to get that over to Archer. So Archer's going to center one. Stick to side. Sloan then follows up with it at the line. He's cycling. He's going to chip it towards Peter Koski. Fired a shot. That just went wide. Now looking for the stretch pass is Columbus. Nice job there by George Homewood to play that, or Mason Cooper rather, to play that. And then we're going to have an offsides, it looks like.
Gets me excited. The sound of giants. We can't keep this quiet. Ooh, I kinda like it. Gets me
now George Homewood takes face off again for the Trojans.
We could start a riot.
It's kicked back to Ricky Nichols. He's going to cycle that behind the net. Gets poked away right in front of the goal. Stuck under Webb Sloan at the moment. Collected by Ryland Peter Koski. Gets that cross ice to River Archer. Good look there. As Archer goes, now he gets it out to Peter Koski, and we're going to have an offside. Puck is dropped. Burkhardt with the face-off. That gets knocked back. Now he's pursuing on the forecheck as they try to pass up ice. They do, but we're going to have an icing. So just under 6 minutes left here in the third. Burkhardt out there with Schwab and Schaaf take the face-off for the Trojans. Puck gets knocked back. Burkhardt goes to the corner, trying to get it. Held in by Sloan. Sloan fired a shot, came out to Burkhardt on his stick, but just couldn't get through the Columbus players. Now Columbus bringing it up the zone. Pre-neutral ice. Sloan there, trying to push him to the outside. Stick on stick. Nice job there by Sloan around the corner there. Centered out, came out to Nichols. Nichols is going to push now. He's got some room. Nichols trying to turn. Still has it in the corner. Still comes out with it. Trying to get close. Put one on that just hit behind, but Nichols still has it. He's going to turn again. Now he's going to turn one more time. Gets tripped up, but coming out with it is Schaaf. Schaaf puts it in front. Burkhardt tried to get a stick on it, but his stick was knocked out of his hand. Sent in front again. Burkhardt just missed on that one. And now Columbus has it. Skating back. Centering pass. Shot. Biggs. Nice save. Glove that, or pad save that aside. Now Burkhardt there, blocking that centering pass. Sloan's got it now. Sloan's going to get that up to Schwab. Schwab's going to take that, cut it towards the middle, trying to get through. Now centering, off the stick of Biggs, but through. Oh, they're going to call a penalty on that when the kid ran into our player. Here with just 4:24 left here in the third. Mason Cooper and Ben Grace out as forwards. Lawyer Teagarden and Eddie Homewood out as defense. Puck is dropped. Sent back to the point, shot fired, tipped in front, but Biggs got a piece of it too. big, saw through the traffic. Now Columbus trying to go cross ice with it. Now Mason Cooper is going to try and chip that forward. He does. He's going to try to go around the player, but held up by Columbus. But good job there by Teagarden. No interference call on that, as Cooper was trying to get to that, and Columbus player just basically knocked him into the boards. Shot hits the side of the net. Sent aside, but centering, or trying to wrap that around the boards was Homewood, but then shot, blocked in front, wrapped around the boards. Teagarden makes play down in the corner. Then chipped out. Ben Grace has it now. He's got some room, so he's going to push it out of the zone. He's got Mason Cooper coming up with him. He's going to center that to Cooper. Cooper gets held up. Grace comes out with it. Grace still spinning with it. Still going. He gets knocked down. Should have been a crawl. He got just straight elbowed while he was making a play on the puck. And now we're going to have something here. Oh, they're going to call offside. So 11 seconds left to the Trojan penalty. George Homewood out there now with Mason Beach. George Homewood takes face off. Gets that back to his brother, Eddie. Eddie now goes around the boards, gets it to his brother. George gets cross center ice, fires it into the zone. Columbus trying to center. That's collected by Mason Beach. Mason Beach is going to make a turn on it and start pushing towards the middle. Nice job there by Mason Beach. Head of steam. Oh, just trying to get through there. Trojans back at full strength, though. And offsides, a call. Pardon me. George Homewood takes face off for the Trojans. Gets that over to Rylan Pietrkowski. Then stick back by Columbus. Looking for a shot, but nice poke check there by Fort. Still loose. Fort again with the stick lift down in the corner. Pushing it through. Fort gets run into. Now Pietrkowski has it. Gets that up to George Homewood. George Homewood takes it to the outside. Takes it more to the outside. He gets thrown down. Now we got a penalty. And it's going to be on Columbus. And now Homewood's up. Good to see that. Skating towards the bench. So Cooper will be out there with Grace and Archer, along with Sloan and Fort, to start this power play for the Trojans. Puck is dropped. Fort holds that up at along the boards. Goes down to Grace. Grace trying a centering pass, just went under a stick. Good thought there by Grace. Now chipping that back down into the zone is Columbus. Sloan tried to make a play. He's got the puck now. He's going to fire that off the boards. Tried to get that out to Grace. And now Columbus will send that down, but They went across the line, so that's going to be an icing.
Yeah, wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on
So we'll have another power play, or offensive zone face-off on the power play here. Minute 25 left. 51 seconds on the power play. Let's see if Trojans can take advantage of this situation. Maybe put one in the back of the net here late in the third. And we're going to have a timeout.
Timeout brought to you by Perry Survey. Calling it Perry Surveying our flags.
All right, it's coming out of timeout. We'll have Mason Cooper to take face-off for Trojans. River Archer, actually George Homewood take face-off for Trojans. Fort Sloan back on defense. Gets that over to Fort down in the corner. Kicked out, that bounces out of the zone. Sloan's going to play that along the boards. He's still got it. He's going to kick that forward. He's going to try to charge towards the net. He fires a shot. Loose in front. We've got a whistle. So another offensive zone face-off here. Homewood takes face-off, knocks it to the corner. That goes out to Cooper. Cooper gets it to Sloan. Sloan's going to fire a shot. That goes tipped wide. Now George Homewood has it. He leaves it for Fort, and then that gets kicked out of the zone. Coming over to get that is Sloan. Try to move that along the boards, and he does. Edging players out. He's going to come around again. Tried to center one on the backhand. Now Cooper's got it. He's going to find, tried to find George Homewood on the opposite side. Pass just too far ahead. So now Columbus gathers. Now they're at full strength. Let's kick the side. And an offsides. As we're at just under 30 seconds here left in this tie game. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off. George Homewood takes face-off for Trojans. He'll have Mason Cooper, Ben Grace with him. Nichols and Sloan out there. They get it back. Trying to get a pass off was Sloan. That got tipped aside, so he's going to take it along the boards. He's going to get knocked down. We're going to have another penalty. As number 31 goes to the box for Columbus. So the Trojans will finish this game on the power play unless they can get this goal here, capitalize in the last 20 seconds. They get that over to Grace, gets that back to Nichols. Nichols gets it back. Oh, it's Archer, sorry. Archer tried to make a move around the corner and then that got sent down. That's going to be an icing. So with just 7 seconds left here, see if the Trojans can put one in to take this game. It looks like they're going to pull Finn Biggs to get the extra skater out there. Two-man advantage here in the closing 7 seconds. Puck is dropped. Tie up in the middle. Puck still tied up. And that's going to be the game. As coaches come out, check on the players, make sure everything's okay. So 2 hard-fought games and then 2 ties today for the Trojans against the Columbus Capitals. Teams ranked pretty much next to each other in the standings, so ties kind of what you would expect it today, but good hard play by the Trojans. So we've got a game tomorrow around 10:50 at home. We'll be at the Cube. Let's take on Sylvania Maple Leafs, so join us for that. Know the hometown Wi-Fi, so shouldn't have as many complications there. Should be a better stream, so thanks for hanging with us through the technical issues. And everyone have a good rest of your day, and go USA.